Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference and the Sri Holistic India Foundation for giving me this opportunity. I'm Bony M. I'm a PhD scholar with the Department of Social Work, Delhi University. The title of my presentation is The Transition from Informal to Formal Economy, Exploring the Challenges Faced by Street Vendors. We are a developing country, and informality poses a bottleneck from both developmental and human rights perspective. Informality is a combination of exclusions from legal and accounting regulations in employment and financial services. In other words, over 60% of the economy and over 90% of employment are in the informal sector. Inadequacy and inefficiency of our policies and governance, and the attributes of our population like illiteracy, moving population, the migration, and also the lack of compliances lead to informality. And informality also causes and exacerbate the poverty debt trap and stigma, discrimination, and marginalization of a larger section of the society. What social workers can do about it? It directly excludes marginalized people from labor welfare, social security, skill development, banking services, and limiting their social networks and opportunities for empowerment. It can inform social workers addressing the policies of livelihood and social security, also working on sustainable development goals like goal 8 and 10, economic growth and decent work, and reducing the inequality will also be benefited from understanding about informality. The study objectives is to understand informality from a street vendor's perspective and to understand the challenges and the perception of street vendors towards government intervention and government interventions to street vending, and the impact of these both government policies towards urban development and towards street vendors, the impact of them, and to inform social work about the informality. The methodology is used to qualitative data to adopted a case study approach. Purposive sampling used to collect data from 225 street vendors interviewed from CBD of Mysore urban area, January to July 2018. Semi-structured interview schedule was used, and FGDs were used to collect and verify the data. These are some of the pictures from the field. Results: marginalization, discrimination, and harassment. I will read out a statement given by a street vendor. I start 4 a.m. from home to open my shop at 7 a.m. That early tourist buses come here. I also serve tea to beat policemen. Nobody can tell me a thief. Call me a thief. I work hard for my money. I'm doing a job just like anyone else to feed my family. But people think I'm doing an illegal job. Police shout at me like I'm a dog. This is unacceptable. A sentiment widely expressed by street vendors. They also use the word kirkari whenever they say it's local term for harassment from police and municipal corporation and even by public. Criminalization and prosecution. The city stigmatizes them as a group of illegal encroachers. So frequently they are evicted, fined, confiscated by the assets and taken to court. Marginalization and social exclusion. Homelessness. There is a frequent change in the address and they're discriminated as outsiders. Illiteracy, even it is paperless or paper-based governance, they're being excluded, they're marginalized. Indebtedness, informal credits, and no savings or insurance is available to them. Most of them have debts amounting to 10 times of their revenue. So they have been exploited by loan sharks and corrupt officials. Also, they are not able to access services which is given by government, like social schemes. Often it is due to the duplication and errors in the ID documents. But a lot of them have Aadhaar card or ration card, voter ID card, and bank passbook. Rations are available to a lot of them, that is to be noted. Government interventions. I'm not reading out these schemes. There are so many schemes for urban development these days, and also schemes like demonetization, also government activities like demonetization, GST, banking reforms, PM Awas Yojana. I mean, these are aimed to generate more activities in the formal economy. And these are the direct programs towards street vending. There is a national policy, and there is a Food Safety Authority of India's programs, trainings, and there is a skill development program. There is also a microcredit scheme by the government. The policies, these policies aimed at street vendors are intended to license and train and provide them with the microcredits. Even though it is often failed by the prejudiced bureaucracy and their discretion. Some of them, or even a lot of them, have benefited by SHG loans like microcredits. And a lot of surveys have conducted. Most of the year they start doing the surveys for regularizing them. And there is a cooperative finance society in Karnataka. Trainings are given by FSSAI. Also, there is a town vending committee formed, even though it is not functional. The trade-off is if they comply with the licensing, they will get legitimacy. But if they need to get license, they have to move to a designated place, and a mobile cart must be used, and do not sell the items sold in the restaurant menu. So that's a trade-off they have to do in order to get themselves licensing and legitimacy. Organization leadership, there are many organizations now working for them. Their own organization, there is an organic leadership came up in Mysore. There is a town vending committee, even though it is a non-functional body, but it has resulted in like the blanket bans in the city, especially in summer. They used to ban street food. Now it is not happening, and conflict with the police is also reduced. Inclusion into government schemes. As I said, microcredit schemes have been beneficial. A lot of them have loans, and BPL ration cards are benefited by them. However, prosecutions are still happening. A lot of them are facing eviction before they need to move to a renewed location in order to get themselves licensed or to do the vending. Some of them have approached court and got some relief for a short time. Conclusion and recommendations. Informality is an urban condition that is present by its absence in urban development policies. So these policies has to recognize the contribution of street vendors. Then social inclusion of street vendors, that will give them, that will help them to earn dignity and belongingness to urban society. So that must be noted by social workers and the policy makers. And social workers who are working for empowering the poor society, like focused on livelihood, skill training, advocacy, they should also benefited by understanding the informalities surrounding populations like street vendors. And civil society need constant education that public goods like open spaces and streets are collective resources, which is an educative need. And awareness should be spread in the public, and public needs to be sensitized to own their responsibility as employers, which is also a need, because most of these people are workers. Even though they are not employed, we are not employing them for as like a regular employees. They are also supposed to get the benefits of a worker. So the public has to own up to some responsibility. With this, I'll stop this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.